Hey, Megan.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hi, James.
James.
Hi, nice to meet both of you.
Good to
Nice
meet
to
you.
meet
Thanks for
you as
coming.
well.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
I will read your bio, and so our subscribers know who you are, and then we'll get started. So, hey, everybody. Tonight we have James Dexter. He is a lifelong Nevadan. Did I pronounce that correctly?
It's close enough.
Oh, I apologize. I am a horse trainer by trade. Not a good public speaker to anybody listening. But anyway, he has been in the horse industry and is continuing his family's lifelong tradition of ranching and breeding performance horses. As the owner of 50 Horse Ranch and chief pharmacist at the Fallon, can you please pronounce this?
So, I'm chief pharmacist at the Fallon Paiute and Shoshone tribe.
Thank you. I
So
apologize.
their medical health clinic.
James combines practical horse experience with a strong background in organization and leadership. Through the years of working with trainers, barn owners, and equine professionals, James saw how much time was being lost to paperwork, billing, and scheduling. He realized technology can make our lives easier. That insight led him to create Stable Pro, an all-in-one business management platform built specifically for the equine industry. Founded in 2023, Stable Pro helps professionals streamline everything from client billing and scheduling to horse care tracking, trip planning, and team management. The goal is simple: to give horse people more time to focus on what they love most, working with horses. Yay! Well, let's take a step back, and why don't you just tell us a little bit about your family's ranch and, what discipline do you practice it? Tell us about your horse, and then we'll get into Stable Pro.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, thank you for having me on this. This is all kind of a new experience for me because although I've done some recorded sessions, I've never done anything live like this other than in person. So this is a first. As far as a little bit of my history goes, grew up in Nevada, and kudos to you didn't say Nevada, it's Nevada. And grew up way out in the middle of nowhere, about 3 hours away from the closest city. And we lived on about a 2,000-acre ranch where we mostly raised alfalfa hay, horses, cattle. And so had the experience to work with horses, dogs, cattle every day, basically. And that little place was called Orbat, Nevada, in case anyone's curious. So that's how I grew up. I grew up so remote that really had pretty limited access to TV, pretty limited access to towns other than traveling to shows occasionally. So remote that I didn't even know how to cross the street when I finally went away to college and high school. They always kind of give you an idea what crossing the street looks like on a movie. You see the green man, you start walking across, but you never really see the red flashing hand on a movie. So I ran back several times before I realized what I was supposed to do. But anyways, it was that remote where I grew up. Long story short, eventually moved away so that I could go to school. Did decently well in school. In fact, well enough that my parents swear that I spelled farm wrong and ended up in pharmacy school. And from there, developed my skills until I was able to kind of return home here. And now I'm just outside of Fallon, Nevada. So I'm building my facility out here outside of Fallon, Nevada, and do my personal practice here for pharmacy as well. And really have had a great experience with both. Pharmacy has allowed me to really develop my career in the horsemanship. And so I built out 50 horse ranch, and we now have a decent sized horse facility and indoor arena and nice outdoor arena. And we'll be hosting quite a number of shows this upcoming year and clinics. So all of that kind of got me more and more deeper into the horse industry, got me better, higher quality horses, sending to trainers across the country and seeing same problems over and over and over. And I received scratch out note paper invoices in the middle of the night. And so I figured has to be some way of doing it better. And really, that's where I kind of started the baseline for starting with Stable Pro.
That is a great story. Now, do you have a background with internet, with because so many times I've had people ask me, Megan, when are you going to automate your farm? And for me, I am scared to do it. And I've been starting to look at options. And so do you have a background in it, or do you have someone who's helping you? And what advice do you give to trainers who are scared to make that jump?
Great question. I don't have a background in technology at all. I've forced myself to learn a decent amount. And I knew that really creating something and building something was, and the entrepreneurial path was where I wanted to go with life eventually. So I always pushed myself in that direction. However, I don't have the strict technology background that a developer would need to build out this whole process. So I can communicate decently well with a developer at this point, but I'm not personally a developer. So I actually spent a good amount of time interviewing until I found the perfect candidate. So shout out to my developer, Michael. He's just awesome team member. Brought him on early on. I'd already built out most of the product as far as, well, built it out on note cards, and then he took my vision and helped me build it out beyond that. But the nice thing with Stable Pro is I took it from the very beginning. We just released an MVP, a very minimum viable product. So the earliest users could just do one basic task, which was invoicing. The next step, we got a couple trainers on, we took their feedback and built out the next step. So since day one, this has been built out and almost just trainer guided the entire way. So as a equestrian, as a clinician, as a trainer, you can go on there and find that it's actually pretty intuitive to do some things. It does help to have a little bit of guidance for some of the more complicated things, but for the most part, we've taken all that feedback and built it in there. So if you're looking to get started on there, just reach out to me. I'm more than happy to walk you through every step of the process. It's a really fun product.
It sounds like a great product. I am sorry to Mumsy. I missed the question. Steph, can you pop it up again? I think it was, what disciplines are you having for your clinics that you're hosting?
So right now we do a weekly cutting clinic, typically on the cutting flag right now. And then this upcoming spring, we're looking at doing a few versatility clinics. And we've done one versatility clinic here already. Going forward, we're going to have some working cow, some reined cow stuff. And this is big reined cow country. So we'll do a lot of that and cuttings coming up, as well as some more versatility.
Can you explain for our viewers what reined cow is, some of the differences in those disciplines?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you first think about cutting strictly, you have your herd of cattle and you go in, you separate one out, you work it, and you get scored based on that process. Then if you think about reining, you have a pattern that you perform. You want a willfully guided horse, and you go through that whole process to receive your score. Working cow combines those two events and also one more third event, which is down the fence, where a cow is released into the arena. You box it at the end, and then you chase it down and push it back and forth a couple of times and then circle it up at the end. It's a very exciting sport. I'm not particularly good at any of those three things, but I enjoy it. I personally have the most experience in the reining, and I have horses with some of the higher end reiners in the country.
It looks like we have another question. What is unique for horse industry? Accounting is a double entry for all business systems. I don't understand the question. Do you?
Not entirely. I think we're jumping all over the place. We're asking him
Yeah.
a little bit about his farm and his horses, and then we jumped into Stable Pro. So I don't feel like we've made a really good transition right now to explaining what Stable Pro is. So maybe we slow down on that. Megan, any more questions for him on his ranch, his farm background or anything, or shall we slide into Stable Pro?
How about one more question? What is your future vision for your farm? Like, how far do you want it to grow? And also, are you using Stable Pro?
So let's see. Am I personally using Stable Pro? Is that what I gathered? Yes, I use it on a daily. I'm their most avid user. I use it for everything, constantly testing to make sure that there's never anything that breaks, because technology, the goal is for technology to the user to not really ever see technology break, but it just happens. And so I'm always feeling that. And I'm personally responsible for everything that happens on Stable Pro. And I also utilize it to just manage my own horses, because it gives me good case studies, good use studies for how to use it. So when I would send to a couple of different trainers, send horses to it, I would encourage them to get on it and utilize it to give me the feedback on it. And eventually, most of those trainers actually signed up to put their entire program on Stable Pro.
Okay, so this is a good time to actually get into what is Stable Pro, what does it do? Now, I believe per the website, there's two different directions. So let's start with, you're a boarding barn facility and you have 40 stalls. Let's say you've got 30 clients, and it's a boarding facility. So why would a boarding facility be interested in Stable Pro? Let's start there.
Okay, great. So first, I'll explain the rationale as to why there's kind of two portals. There is your regular equestrian portal, and then there's the professional portal. Your boarding barn would want to be on the professional side, because the professional side is really designed for anyone who's going to be invoicing clients. And so your professional barn would simply create their account, then they just upload the horses. They create each different horse's profile that directly links to the client via the phone number. So clients as equestrians, they can create a free equestrian profile and then view their horses' invoices, view their horses' any notes or documents that are shared with their horses, all right there on that portal. So they have free access to their horse at any time.
So you're saying Stable Pro is more than an accounting system?
Absolutely.
So can we maybe take a right turn off the accounting and explain, like, what else is there? Let's go deep into this.
So, and I want to make sure that everything's clear. So I'll kind of go step by step. So I won't make the right turn as quick as you might like. But the next step that I'll explain would be, say you have a clinician at your facility that's giving lessons. You can set them up to build out all their lessons on Stable Pro so that clients can just simply drop into those lesson slots and completely manage their calendar that way. There's also clinics and events that you can set up and block off your calendar for that, have people just drop right into that. And one of my favorite features is really the trips feature. This is a unique feature that I put a lot of thought into, and a trainer can create a trip, select where they're going. It will automatically calculate the miles to that destination. You just select which horses are going to be on the trip, and they'll drop right into the trip. It automatically adds that mileage and the charges associated with that to those horses. Any fees that you have associated with it, if it is a stall fee, veterinary fee, show expenses, all of that just can be added right there in that trip. And it breaks it down so that your clients can then have an idea what to maybe expect out of that trip. Or a lot of clients, first time going to a show, have no idea. It's just a blank check being written to the trainer for the show. So this gives you a lot clearer picture of that. And then when all's said and done, you just hit the button, it builds it out and sends them the invoice with everything broke down. Now, we'll make that turn a little bit more on the horse profile. So, like I was saying, as a professional, you can have your professional account. And then as an equestrian, you have an equestrian account where you can, all of your horses are automatically assigned to you by the trainer. We're working on this next update. Equestrians will be able to build out their own horses. And the exciting part of this is all of your documents will be stored there. All of the information, like when you're logging your dewormer, you're logging your farrier, all of that information will be stored right there on the calendar with reminders. I'm working with a number of different companies that I'm excited to try and partner with and build out some extra features that'll pull in data that clients love to see on their horses, whether it's earnings, registration, all of that.
Okay, I will admit, and Megan knows this, I'm an accountant. So I am loving all of this because one of the things Megan and I have been working on for the last year is trying to find a way to save the barns around us. It's just getting so expensive. People don't understand. And I say people, I mean, a lot of horse owners just don't understand the expense of having their horse in somebody else's facility. We see and have talked to a lot of professionals who just don't know where to begin on how to charge and bill, and, to start recouping and actually trying to make a profit. We've talked to so many, wouldn't you say, Megan, who say, they're just hoping to break even, which is not a good business plan. No banker wants to hear you say that. So like just the first few things you were explaining about, let's say Megan as a horse trainer says, I'm going to go to the Kentucky Horse Park for, let's just say Region 2 is down there. And, so you're telling me she can build out, first thing is she gets the mileage. She can put in her mileage charge, right, per horse or per mile or however she wants to bill that. Let's say she has a flat fee per horse, or let's say she has a planned expense for the trip and divides it by number of horses. It'll do that.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And then let's say she's planning on taking 6 horses. And so she's going to have herself, let's say she's going to have one extra, a groom. You see that a lot, maybe not necessarily as much in the dressage world as you do in the hunter jumper world. But let's say she's taking along another employee to assist with, the care of the horses. So she can build in their cost, and then it would get divided amongst the horses or however she planned on that. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. So
amazing.
when you build out your trip, you select where you're going. And if you're going to a certain destination and dropping off a couple horses and then continuing on to the final destination. You can set that spot, and then you can set which horses are going to get off there. You can set which horses are going to go the full distance and then return as a round trip, and it'll automatically calculate those mileages for where the horse was deposited, and then um, it'll add it to them. Then you can select from your options, whether it's show help, veterinary, the whole bunch of options that you just select what it is. You add the invoice on there, you select the quantity if it's more than one, and it divides it amongst everyone that's on there. And then you simply just uncheck the ones that it doesn't apply to. So if only one had that expense, you just take it away from the other ones, and it only applies to that horse.
Is this able to be utilized as like an estimating tool? Because, you go to a horse show and something changes. Something changes. It's an extra overnight in the hotel or whatever, things change a little bit. So is there a way to like set this up as a, Megan's going to put in all her estimated costs, and everybody can kind of go look at it and say, okay, I understand maybe a week will be, 5 days at this horse show might cost me, $2,500 with trailering and Megan's expenses and all the stuff, that I'm paying for the horse show through Megan. Or sorry, Megan, I keep using you as an example. But is this like an estimating tool as well?
It can be used like that because, and the way you would want to do it is it doesn't actually publish the result until you hit publish. So if you know all your expenses right away and you're ready to publish that trip, you can hit send. The client will know right away based on their invoice what the trip costs. However, if you want to wait till after the show, which would probably be wise, and then you can add on those things as you go. But you could give the client an idea ahead of time. Hey, this is the mileage. This is the things we already know are added on here. And you can just tell them this is going to be about $2,500 based on what I've calculated up so far. So yes, it can be used as an estimating tool, but you can also build it out beyond that. All of these tools.
She disappeared. She's having technical difficulties. It's okay.
All of these tools will continue to get better and better because that's, like I said, it's been trainer driven from day one. So I take feedback from every trainer that I cross paths with, and I build that into it. And you as an accountant, you probably will appreciate this. One of the big things that I'm really excited about the future of is I'm working towards building out the business suite, which will then take and automatically pull from all of the billing that you're doing and categorize it. And then you can enter in your expenses there and add receipts, and all of those things will be stored there. And then it'll automatically build out your P&L, and you'll be able to send it right to your CPA.
Wow, this sounds almost like a QuickBooks, but for horse people. Is that correct? I mean, because I use QuickBooks, would it be easy for me to transfer all the information over, or would I have to do it by hand?
Most of it would have to be transferred over by hand at this point, just because we haven't advanced to that level yet. And I hate to say necessarily it is just like QuickBooks, because I'm really building it out to be so much more and so tailored to the horse industry. But there are features that are business oriented, like QuickBooks.
Well, I love the fact that it would have a P&L on it. I mean, that's amazing, because we need to look at that, and to have it all in one area is amazing. I have a question on, is this for a lesson barn? So I have a lot of school horses, and I want to, so it's not that the owner and the horse are together. I mean, I do have that as well, but I have a very large lesson program. Is that an option in Stable Pro as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll touch bases one more time. The um, billing suite, the business suite that I was talking about that would do the P&L, that's still in design and production. That's something I'm working on that is going to be coming. So I didn't want anyone to jump on there expecting that quite yet, but it's in the works. Um,
Okay.
and then as far as a training
No,
barn goes,
no
it works.
pressure. When do you think you're going to be done? Sorry.
My original goal was to get this out before April of next year, just because tax season's a nice deadline for that. Um, I'm hoping that's the case, but as everything gets more complicated, development takes a little bit longer. And so updates where we were getting them out about every week are taking a little bit closer to 2-3 weeks. So that might get pushed back a little bit, but goal is to get it out before April for that portion.
So let's say you're just a boarding farm owner. Are they able to see, like, can we do running tallies for the boarding clientele weekly? Can they see, like, as their bill is kind of slowly being added to each month? Let's say, some places will charge, and I don't necessarily agree with this, but let's just say somebody's on you pay by the pound of hay, or the flake of hay, you pay by the pound of grain, or let's say you get 2 bags of shavings and anything more, because a lot of places kind of are like that, but a lot are not. So,
Yeah.
time and material type situation, can they see, like, an updated, like, if the barn manager or the owner goes in and adds on, let's just not even be that petty. Let's just say there is a, $10 per holding fee for a farrier or a vet visit. So let's say that, it's farrier and vet, this month. And so there's 2 times in the month where a stable had to hold the horse for the vet or the farrier, and they're slowly adding that in. Let's say they update their charges weekly. Do the clients see that, or do you have to press the, like, send the bill before they see what's actually kind of adding to the month?
So let me answer your question real quick, and then I feel bad because I kind of skipped over another question there. So the lesson barn, will jump back to you in just a second. As far as what you see as a client, you won't see it live up to date, like right away. The bill has to be published for them to actually see it. But um, as the trainer, you can go on to each horse's profile and adjust if there's a fee that is associated with feed or medications. All those things can be added right in there. You can say it's a medication they're on for 2 weeks. You can put it on once daily for 2 weeks. You can do it once every other day for 2 weeks. All those different things you can build into the billing, and it'll automatically calculate that, add it to the bill, and then add it to the invoice. You won't see that until the trainer actually hits publish. Then you'll be able to view all that. As a client, if you have an account, you can see that on your horse's account or on your invoice list there. However, not every client wants to create a Stable Pro account, so it will email or text their invoice to them, and they can pay right from the invoice. So they don't necessarily have to have that account. They won't see, as of right now, a live adjustment for that. And we've had to, in some of these cases, build out some best practices because the software would be expansive and never be something usable if we tried to accommodate and take into every account every little detail. So it might not do exactly what that boarding barn, how they bill out that, but it might do something that works a little bit easier and is a little more straightforward for them. So I encourage them to try it out. They might realize, oh, this is way easier to just do it like this instead of trying to do it per pound and expect the client to see it on a weekly basis.
We don't really see a lot of that around here, but we know in talking to people across the country that some barns are very much like that. It's like you pay a set fee for your spot, and then whatever you want fed, you pay by the, because some people provide their own food, some don't. There are places that are like that. And Megan, I would say we don't really see that here where you and I are, right? But we've definitely heard stories about it.
Yeah. And it's easy to kind of add those bills in, like I was saying. Now, the lesson barn, that's kind of a cool thing, is you can put on those horses. If you look at the billing structure for Stable Pro, it's set up to bill $10 per 10 horses that you manage as a professional. So if you want all of your personal horses on there that you're going to be using for lessons, you can track things on the calendar. You can do everything that you need to do, whether it's loading your Coggins, loading your health certificates to their files. All those things are doable, and you're charged basically per horse that you have on there for every 10 horses. If you're doing 100 lessons, 10 lessons, 1,000 lessons a week, it doesn't charge you anything more for using that. So it's based solely on the number of horses that you are managing. So you can use all of those extra features without it charging you any extra. So it works great for a lesson barn.
And with a lesson barn, so let's say with the scheduling, someone puts in Monday at 6:00. So the day before, do they get a reminder their lesson is going to be there?
So this is an exciting topic. When you go to manage your calendar as a professional, you can set up blanks, open slots for what you want to put in throughout the month. You can have a repeating open spot, whatever you want. So say you always do a lesson Monday at noon, you can have Monday at noon repeat going forward and always be an open slot. Anyone who is a client or on the equestrian portal side can search for your barn or search your name and then see your calendar and see that open spot and then drop into it. It'll then notify the trainer that you now have someone scheduled for that time. And then it goes into the client's schedule right there. And so it keeps them organized that way. They can always see their upcoming schedule really simply. The professional can put in and add a lesson and select from their list of clients that they have right there. So they don't have to even type in the name or anything. They just drop down, select that client, it adds them right to there. It shoots a text message to the client that they've been scheduled for that time slot. That's also the same process you kind of do for building a clinic or an event. And then also for like a farrier that's using it, they can set an appointment instead of a lesson and add notes to that appointment so that they can refer back to it.
So going back to the lesson barn, one of my biggest issues are new people, also old people, but new people who cancel within the 24 hours notice. And so that's like $15,000 of lost income by the end of the year if you can't fill those lessons. So for new people or even existing customers, do they have to pay in advance for their lessons?
So there's a number of different ways you can set this up. When you go on to Stable Pro as a professional, it automatically loads you to your horse profile page, and it has a drop down of all your horses there. However, right next to that is a tab for you to select your clients. If you select your clients, then you have the ability, you have an entire billing system built into the client as well. That client you can charge for show day fee expenses. You can charge for equipment use. You can charge for lessons. The lessons on there is built out so that, say, you wanted to sell a bulk package at a $75 a lesson, you could do all that, have them pay ahead of time, and it'll automatically pull from that queue of lessons. However, if they don't have that purchased already, you can set up and create a lesson for one of your clients, like I explained earlier. Create the lesson, select the student, they drop right in. And when they do that, once you have a whole queue of your lessons. Once you finish that lesson, you hit finished, and it sends the client the invoice if they don't have lessons they've already paid for. So if they've already paid for lessons, it'll pull from that queue. If they haven't paid for lessons, it'll send them the invoice to pay for the lesson that they did.
Is there a plan, or is there currently like an option to tie in receiving payments? Can they link? Let's say Megan has PayPal. What do they got? You got PayPal, you got Venmo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could she link to her so she could bill? So let's say somebody, like she was just saying, let's say somebody had a lesson scheduled and they canceled within the 24-hour. You're charged for canceling within 24 hours. Is she able to go in and, get a PayPal or a Venmo or some sort of electronic payment? I mean, is there a credit card option or any of that?
So I built in Stripe to the program. Stripe is great for this type of situation. However, it can be a little bit slow and clunky as far as receiving payments. So some trainers don't opt to use Stripe. So beyond just Stripe, I also added into the billing process. You can add your shareable link there to the billing information, whether it's Venmo. Zelle doesn't work because they have a shareable QR code. And so it worked for a little while and then they stopped the link. So, but for Venmo, PayPal, Apple Cash, those things, you just put your entire shareable link there. And then when you publish any invoice, that invoice will come with a button that says Venmo. They click that and it automatically loads your Venmo. So they still have to type in the number because Stripe is nice because it's built in everything. It moves your invoices to paid automatically. Whereas when they pay outside, whether they give you cash, they use Venmo, however they pay you, you have to hit mark as paid. So there's an extra step involved, but we built it in because some trainers still preferred to use Venmo or even just take cash.
Hey, cash works for everyone. Right, Megan? That's pretty cool. So you could use Google Pay, Apple Pay, Venmo, PayPal. You would have that just extra step.
Yeah. And so when you have to be good about when you receive a payment, going to your invoice and hitting mark as paid. And then it goes from the owed tab to the paid tab, the unpaid to the paid. Some of the other really cool features built around that is you can set up for people in Canada, there are extra fees and taxes that are oftentimes having to take into account. So you can set up percent fees to add on to specific courses, things like that. And then for late fees, you can choose if you want a late fee, you can choose at what time you want it to go out, whether it's a week or 10 days or 14 days. And then you can set reminders so that it will remind the client, hey, tomorrow you're going to have a 10% late fee added to your invoice if it's not paid. So all that stuff is very easily added onto the invoicing system.
And taking a step back, you had also mentioned farriers. So a farrier a massage therapist, a chiropractor, any equine professional could use Stable Pro. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely. That's why we specifically call it the professional portal instead of the trainer portal. We kind of rebranded. It used to be just the trainer portal, and then we realized that really does more than that. And so we added, instead of just lessons, you can also add those appointments to there. And with those appointments, track notes and things so that you have it all on there. You can share it with the client. So if you have things that you want the client to be aware of, they can see that shared note, or you can have a private note for just keeping your own records.
Okay, so all things mobile. Will there be an app? Is there an app? Apple, an iPhone app and an Android app. Is there?
So I made a very conscientious choice to build this out as a mobile reactive website for the time being. So you can access it, and it's built around using it on your phone so that it's easy to do just from your regular website. However, it works exactly the same on the computer. And this allows me to take that trainer feedback and client feedback to build it out faster. It's a little bit more affordable to build it out that way. And so we can just do so much more for the time being while we figure out the best ways to really accomplish that. Because there's products out there, but there's nothing that really goes nearly the distance what we want to do with Stable Pro. And so we're going to keep growing and building this out as the mobile reactive website. There will be a time in the future where we do redevelop and build out a mobile app as well.
Very cool. And I was reading that I could be in charge of Stable Pro, but I could also have my assistant or a manager or an accountant. Is that correct?
Yes, and it's kind of funny how that all evolved. And I'd go and I'd pitch it to a trainer, and they're super excited about it. And they're like, okay, let's do this. They'd enter their information, sign up, and then get busy and get distracted and do something else, and you'd never hear from them again. So what I did is I made the very first onboarding step for signing up is to add your assistant or your spouse or whoever helps you with your business. And then I found that there was way more success. So as soon as the trainer signs up, it'll prompt them to add their assistant or their spouse or office manager, and it'll send that person a link to follow. They sign up with that link, and then they'll be able to access Stable Pro, that same account. They'll be able to manage the billing, but the head trainer will be able to use the tasking feature to send horse-specific tasks or whatever tasks they need to a specific person. Just make sure things get done, so they don't have to stress about how much something costs, like to add it to the bill. Like when they're at a show, they just, hey, we need to add Osteomax to this horse's bill here when we get back, and someone can take care of it. They don't even have to be there.
Well, I can see as busy as Megan is because I'm around her enough to know that she never stops looking at her phone because she can't, right? Like, you got to keep communicating with your clients. You got to keep doing stuff. So the fact that it's mobile phone friendly is, I can't imagine a trainer having to try to remember to write it all down and then run into the house or at lunch or, dinner and try to write it all down. So yeah, to me, that would be, it's key. So I think that's awesome that you got a mobile friendly.
And really, it was built out taking into so much detail and so much consideration that running through the barn, I want to look at like how I'm going to be using my phone as I'm trying to do these things. So buttons are placed in places where it's convenient to actually do those things. And there's just not a lot of companies that spend the time to think about, hey, I'm actually in the barn and I need to do this quick. What's the easiest way to do it? Well, we put the button right there so you can just boom, boom, done.
Okay, so I have more questions. So Megan's laughing at me, but yeah, I used to be in human resources too. I used to do interviewing, so I'm always good with lots of questions. Okay, so you've got a boarding facility. All your clientele are set up. The horses are set up in there. Can the veterinarian go in to the horses? Let's say somebody's got a lame horse. Here's the protocol, the medication for the next 10 days, 21 days, whatever. How does that integrate into the system, or does it?
So, and my professional background is in pharmacy, so I work in clinics and I get to work very close hand in hand with a lot of physicians and work with a lot of medical software. And so some of the features are built in kind of similar to how you would enter in prescriptions, where you just select, well, okay, this is the thing, this is the fee, this is what we're going to charge for this medication. It's going to be something that we give once a day for the next 7 days. So I select that the price that it costs per instance, and then set the number of days that it's going to be on, and every day it adds that much onto it.
So I'm also thinking of like diagnosis and treatment. Like, does that go into the record of the horse so that let's say Megan has, I'm just going to throw some numbers here. Let's say Megan has 30 different boarders at her facility, and let's say she has a staff of 5. So let's say, of those 30 horses, 6 of them are having various treatments for whatever. The vet comes out, is there a way to get the treatment uploaded into the horse's profile so that if she gives the staff the opportunity to look at the horses in the barn, they can see what the treatments are on these certain horses, so they know horse Y doesn't get turned out, and horse, F has to get turned out in a small paddock, whatever.
So there's a lot of room. There is a room for improvement across the board on this, especially probably this area. It's a little bit more challenging to take in and like connect it to a veterinary tool and implement those things. However, what you could do is utilize the notes feature to both keep the staff on the same page, but also you have the option of the private and the shared notes, so you can keep your staff on the same page with your private notes. These are the things for this horse we need to be aware of, need to do, we need to keep it, it's on stall rest, these things, versus the shared notes, which a client can see from their portal, and they can see, okay, the horse is making its flying lead change now. That's the horse's got this update from the vet. All those things can be on the shared notes for the client to keep track of.
Yeah, I mean, I used to manage a 40 stall barn, and a lot of stuff was put on a write and whiteboard. So, when you've got a large staff, a whole lot of horses, being able to, we were holding horses for the vet, we were holding horses for the farrier. So at that point in time, you could have a tablet or a phone, and you could be entering, the notes from the vet, like, is there a way to integrate a calendar that says, okay, for the next 14 days, this horse is on restricted stall rest, or this horse is on, bute for the next 5 days, or this horse is getting, sulfa, antibiotics for the next 7 days. That would be amazing to have that, like you said, into the notes that, let's say, any of the staff could log in, even if a barn had like a shared tablet or whatever, to be able to see that. Because, write and whiteboard, people can accidentally erase stuff.
Oh yeah. Those are awesome questions, and there's definitely, like I was saying, some room for improvement. There's ways that you can still do it on Stable Pro, but we're still kind of in our infancy, so there's things that we're going to be building out and continuing to improve. This is one of the things we're actively working on, because we've now designed out and built out so that you have a calendar for every single horse that's horse specific. That calendar, you can log anything that pertains to that horse on that calendar. You can connect it to your Google Calendar so you get reminders to your phone from your calendar. And then all those things can be logged on there. But the problem is we haven't quite yet connected logging something from your calendar to creating an invoice or a bill out of that. So there's some redundancy there where you also have to, if you're giving Septra twice daily for 14 pills a day or 14 pills twice a day, you're going to have to not only enter that in the calendar, or maybe enter it on the notes so everyone's on board what's happening. You would also kind of have to enter it in once you're actually billing for it. Eventually, I'd like to figure out ways to streamline that. And a lot of this, had you asked me how to do something 6 months ago, a year ago, I've been learning as I went, and I wouldn't have known what that next step was quite yet because I didn't foresee how we could implement it. So as we're tackling a lot of these things that you're mentioning, I don't have the answer for everything built out yet, but in the coming months, we're learning so much every day on how to implement things that there's a huge amount of room for improvement. Even though it's an awesome app as it is, or awesome program as it is, it's going to keep growing. It's going to be so much better.
Oh, it sounds like an amazing product. So I'm all for it, and we need it. We need help. My question is, so there's invoicing, there's money on it, there's vet, and now I invite my barn manager, my assistant in it. They're helping me manage it so we can see the bigger picture. But then are there privacy settings, like they can't go into the money portion on what the income is? However, I personally prefer everybody know what my expenses are, because that's the hardest part. But I mean, as you have these controls and you invite people, can they be looking at what each individual client spends with you, or is that, I don't know what you call that?
As of right now, we don't have restrictions built in quite yet. It's something that I've explored so that you'd be able to assign your office manager, assign these duties, and and then they only have access to those portions of the program. We haven't built it in quite yet, but it's on the radar. It's something that we have an idea for doing it. It's just a matter of really trying to figure out and really fit it into our development budget and develop, not so much money wise, but time wise. With one developer, we're really restricted on which project we tackle first. But that's great thinking. It will be really fun to kind of tackle that project. So you can take, and you have a clinician that's part of the barn, you just assign them lessons only, and they don't have to worry about anything else. So it's on the horizon.
Well, I tell you what I see in my head, and you're probably just going to chuckle, and Megan's just going to roll her eyes hard. Okay, so I see Megan having like a staff room where she's got this giant touch screen, smart TV / extremely huge screen that's interactive, that works like a tablet, where the clients can come up in, press a horse, find out what's going on with them for the day. Okay, there's owners coming for a lesson at 3:00. So they can be turned out from here to here. Don't forget, this supplement and this supplement in their food, or this horse can get turned out today. It's not being worked. Don't forget the fly boots,
Yeah.
and then this horse is on, hand walking only, and they can just kind of scroll through and like on a nice screen, smart TV, and you can just
Yeah.
keep, going through and seeing what's going on with the horses instead of, it's really been neat. Megan and I have gone and seen a lot of farms, and it's so neat to see how people organize this. And it's magnetic boards, paper, writing whiteboards. And now, granted, technology in a dusty horse barn is not the greatest idea, but if you could try to find a way to have a room that's a little bit dust free, it might work.
The other cool thing is you might not have your entire staff in that meeting. You might be at a show and have half your staff still taking care of the barn at home, and you update something on your side. All they do is hit refresh and they see it on their side too. So they don't even have to be in that room. But yeah, there's so much we can do with some of the things. We built out we built out an affiliate program, and I did that because as a startup, we just don't have a lot of funding, a lot of money to make the sponsorships that I'd love to do at some point. But this is kind of our way of giving back. We've created the affiliate program that when anyone signs up as affiliate and refers someone as a professional, and that professional signs up, the professional gets 3 months free. The affiliate gets that first payment when they actually make a payment. So we're not really doing a whole lot of sponsorships yet, but we're building out that affiliate program so that we can still give back to the people that have really supported us. And the reason I brought that up is because APHA actually signed up as an affiliate and has been sharing this with the entire paint horse world. And it's been just amazing. And what I hope and see in the future is we'll actually be able to take the information that you build your horse with and pull that and create an entirely streamlined, easy to use registration process so that you have you just upload the necessary pictures right there. You have the birthday there. You have the information. It's all right there. You hit the button. It submits it right there to the registry. And I mean, you've registered horses and nobody enjoys the process very much. So there's a lot we can do with it is where I was kind of going with that.
Do you foresee yourself and any business associates going to things like World Show, Congress, Paint World, Quarter Horse World, Congress, any of the, really, really huge USPS, Nationals, any of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super excited to get to that stage where I can transition a little bit more from working. Right now, I'm working 7 days a week at the pharmacy to fund building all this. And so 12 hours a day, 7 days a week at the pharmacy. Eventually, I plan to transition more and more to just doing the Stable Pro, going around the country, and I'll bring my horse along and enter in the competitions myself, but also just getting to interact, being at the places that I want to be at. Like, that's where this all grew out of, and that's where I want to be. And so the goal is to make that slow transition. This year, I got to show a little bit and actually had an absolute blast. This upcoming year, I'll do a little more showing and just be out there, be present, and interacting with the people that I love and get to support that way. It's so much fun.
I have a pivot question, sort of. So let's say I have a horse show facility, and let's say I plan on having, of the 52 weeks of the year, I want to schedule 48 of them. To drop in, like these big facilities like Kentucky Horse Park or, any of these, Ohio WEC or any of these, like, would they be able to start integrating into Stable Pro?
So you're actually talking about a project that I'm working on that is more the enterprise version. And I don't know that my exact version and view of it will be built out, but I've kind of been positioning myself to learn more and more about the industry on that side of things, rather than just as the participant. So now the Nevada Quarter Horse Association has been gracious enough to add me to their board, so I'm getting to help work on putting shows on and go through the whole process of from the grassroots, every little detail, whether it's finding insurance, it's finding cattle, it's everything. Learn the process. So then the future of what you're talking about will be part of that enterprise process, where an association or a facility can have that enterprise product and create their show on that product, and whatever restrictions they put on for the class, the horses can automatically, instead of all the paperwork that's associated behind the scenes, you just drop your horse right in there and it registers it and bills the client automatically.
Are there features of Stable Pro that we haven't discussed and that we've missed then we should discuss?
There's probably a few things, and forgive me, I'm looking up at my other screen real quick here to take a glance here. One of the things I mentioned, the files, and it's kind of a fun thing. I like explaining it because, like I said, you have the professional portal where the professional creates a horse and it links to the client portal. The client can then view their horse, but they can also upload files. So if a client gets a Coggins or has health certificate, PPE done, all those files can be uploaded right there. And then a trainer, say they're traveling down the road and they forget their health certificate and they needed that for the show, it's right there on the phone, easy to access.
I should tell you, I can offer to share my screen if you want to look at the website.
Oh.
I don't know if I can get yours on there, but let me look here. But I know I can share mine. Remember we did this once, Megan?
So I haven't used this before, so I'm going to let you be in charge of any screen sharing.
Well, let's figure that out. It's been a while since we did this. I have to make sure I share the right screen, otherwise everybody's going to see like multiples of. Okay. Why is it not giving me the button? No, well, it's a lovely picture, but
I do see present here. I'm not sure if that is maybe what would do the trick.
Give it a whirl.
Share screen. So sorry, everybody, for the live screen. We are figuring this out as we go.
I know, right?
Well.
Oh, here we go. Hang on. There you go.
All right. So we've automatically selected the client portal here. And so this is basically what it looks like. You can see how it's on a laptop here right now, but you can see how it's kind of oriented for easily being used as a phone. So like I said, your horses are here now. As a client or equestrian, if I wanted to look at my schedule, I can see I have these appointments here. Are you seeing this okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh, and did you see the little spinning horse?
Yes, I did.
I had a great time making that. It turned the process of waiting for the page to load into an actual nice, fun experience. And let's see here. So this is what kind of invoices look like. I have an unpaid invoice here. I can go in and view it here. I can download it, and I'm not sure if you still see the downloaded version since it's no longer on the screen I shared. But that would be the process. So you can see how all this is built out and easy to use. The downloaded version is nice and clean. And then you can see how Stripe is built in right here. And I can make my payment simply right there. Or if I wanted to use Venmo.
That's really cool.
Got a button built in, and that uses your shareable link from your Venmo. So that, Megan, if you're you wanted your payment link there, it would automatically link and it would show up as that button. If there was Apple Cash, it would show up with the Apple Cash button there too.
And forgive me, I'm a little slow on everything because I prefer checks and cash. Would this arrive right into my bank account in 1 day to 7 days, depending? I know Stripe is a little bit longer. Venmo is a little
So,
bit quicker, but this would just go right into my account once my client pays me, correct?
yes. So
Right.
there's some stipulations with Stripe. Stripe, your very first time using it as a client, it takes like 7 business days, which
Okay.
feels like an eternity. And
Yep.
then there's a couple of expenses associated with Stripe. And that is, we build that out in.
And who pays the expenses for that? Like, I guess it's individual too, correct? Depending on the trainer.
Actually, and I was just, you see where my mouse is here?
Yeah.
This
Okay.
is where you can see that Stripe fee, because I have Stripe selected and I have the card selected. So it's going to charge the Stripe credit card processing fee, just like a
Gotcha.
client, or you go out to a restaurant, you go out anywhere, the person who's paying is always required to pay that processing fee. That has never been the case in the horse world, and I've never understood it as being an option. So rather than trainers having to make that decision, I built it in automatically.
Gotcha.
So if they use a Stripe, if they use their credit card, it will charge that 2.9 plus 30-cent fee that is associated with a credit card fee. However, should you use a bank and an ACC transfer from a bank, it reduces the Stripe fee to 0.8%, which is much more reasonable and a little bit faster. And then you have Venmo, which of course doesn't have any of those fees. So like I was saying, how with Stripe, if they make that payment, and let's see, can I switch which tab that I'm?
Want me to pull it down real quick so you can share a different screen?
I think I just. No, that's okay. And
I'll put us back up real quick till I see it, so people aren't just staring at nothing.
Yeah, sorry everybody. We're
That's a
having
learning
fun.
curve.
I have to figure out which Stable Pro is the one that I want. I think
You should put together like a demo situation for people to go in and play with, because I think that would be amazing. Nothing that, gets somebody to hook, line, and sinker than to play with it and go, this is easier than I thought it would be. Wow, this is going to be great for my business.
But
yeah,
what do
I actually had one built before Stable.
And the other thing you have, going back to like customer service, is you have videos on everything. I looked at, I think like 5 videos, like how to make a profile. So for someone who's totally helpless when it comes to this, I'm always like, Steph, you do have that option. I thought that was really cool on how to set everything up, and you literally walk people through everything.
Yeah. And I just saw Linda had a question. I guess that was actually 30 minutes ago. I'm sorry, Linda. You asked about the pricing model. We covered a little bit earlier. You can see it written out on the website so that it's really simple. But basically, for 10 horses, it's $10 a month. So 1 through 10 horses, $10 a month if you're managing them as on the pro account. 11 through 20 horses, $20 a month, and so on. Every 10 horses, $10 a month. Oh, yeah. Thank you. And so that basically explains it. If you're signed up as a equestrian account, the free account, you can manage all your horses for free. There's no charges associated with it. However, if you are expecting to do billing or invoicing, that's where you'd want to upgrade to, you'd want to do the pro account.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere else you want me to poke around on this website to show people? Since I'm just right on the site.
Well, let's look here. So the learn, you can see the learn more and scroll down a little bit. These are the different features that you kind of see between the professional and the equestrian. There's a whole list of things that you can do there. Some of those are developed out a little further than other things, but they're all continually growing in their capabilities.
Yeah, that's awesome. Look at that. Megan, taxes, send forms to the CPA.
Yeah, it's on the bottom of the list because we're working hard on that one.
It's coming. April's
right.
coming.
Look at that. Automated billing, as we talked about. Look, there's a cell phone, Megan.
Yeah, this looks great. Really great.
And I think if you, let's see, that was on the first page. One of the motivating factors, if you go to the very first page and scroll down a little ways, a little further. So see Dave Thacker there.
Yeah.
He's one of my trainers, and he just said the funniest quote, and it was, "My girlfriend wants me to get all the invoices off the kitchen table."
I thought that was hilarious.
If there's no reason other than that, it still works.
Yeah.
And on the homepage, is that you on your horse at the top?
There is one picture. This one is my buddy Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
That one is me with one of my Andalusians.
And you put yourself on there all blurred out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not meant to be about me per se. This is Luca. And one of the things I'm really proud about is these are all trainers who gave me their pictures. They're not just stock photos. This is people who support what we're doing. That's James Phillips. He's got a program up in Idaho. Luca, and almost everyone knows Luca Fapani and Adrian, his father, Andrea, who are very big in the reining world.
That's wonderful.
We should mention you do have the videos.
Yeah. This is important because I looked at quite a few of them, and for me, I found them helpful.
I will be working to continually improve those videos. Usually, so I work 16 hours a day, basically, between this, the ranch, and pharmacy every day. So my video time is typically at 4 a.m. So I have to motivate myself to get out of bed 4 a.m., make myself not look like a duck, and then make a video on here. And so you have to forgive me that I don't always get videos out as often as I like.
Sleep is overrated.
I think they're great. So this sounds like currently it's in the phase of labor of love.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be so helpful for trainers. I want to sign up for the lesson program and give my advice, and I want my assistant Karen and barn manager Ann on it too.
Yeah, and it's fun because your advice actually changes the direction on how things are built and how things work. Because I'm a horse pro in my own right, but there's so much to the equine industry I didn't even know that I didn't know.
Oh, there's so many facets. And like, for instance, with Barn Besties, I'm learning so much as a horse trainer and what other disciplines, what other breeds, like when Steph and I go to different barns, I love it. I mean, and that's the whole point of it, is that we can all work together to develop something even better for our horses and ourselves. So this is fabulous.
Yeah. And it's been such a rewarding experience.
Definitely, scrolling through the website to show everybody.
Yeah. Steph, do you have more questions? Have we forgotten anything, James? We've gone through all of my questions I've had down. How's customer service? So let's say I've looked at all the videos. I'm not getting it. I'm one of those people who's not good with my cell phone or my internet. What do
That
I do?
describes a major portion of the equine industry.
Yeah.
And I will be bringing in more people to work on this, and I
Hmm.
have been for a while now, is kind of scoping and watching and kind of candidly interviewing people that I'll be bringing on to the team in the future to manage more customer service.
Hmm.
However, the email on there, the phone on there, that's my phone number. That goes directly to me. You call that number, I answer. Send that number a text message, I answer immediately. You have issues, I jump on there with my developer immediately. And if you have time to kind of look through the reviews, that's one of the things you'll notice is if there's an issue, we try to get that resolved ASAP. Like, I never want anyone to feel like they're struggling with something. I want to be there to walk you through process. It's the customer service, something that I am very, very proud of. And you'll kind of find that if you go to the homepage and you scroll down to the very bottom, you'll see here where people have left the reviews. It looks like there's 23 reviews on there now. We'd love to continue getting reviews.
Hmm. Yep.
And I don't curate these. This is the actual reviews that people have left.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's great. Now, of course, if I click on them, it pops it up, and I'm having trouble showing that. I can try to show another page, but they're clickable, is what I want to tell people.
Yeah, and if you click on it, it will load to Facebook. So if you're sharing this screen, it won't load to show that, but anyone can go on there and see those. And those are all real horse people that have had the opportunity to use Stable Pro in various ways, whether it's running the professional side or whether it's being on the client side.
We should have you mention, how do people find you on Facebook?
I would imagine you just search Stable Pro and it should pop right up. If it doesn't, I'll be disappointed.
And you also have a great page on Instagram.
Yes.
Stable Pro. Very active. I loved all your posts, so keep doing it.
Yeah, the social media thing has been a learning experience for me. I never was really big on doing much of anything with social media, but now we're kind of dialing in, getting those posts out, reaching really the niche that we want to. So we've built out the Stable Pro, and I'm pretty proud of how the Instagram is growing, and it actually has a lot of interaction from there's not really bots on there and stuff that you see on other big accounts. It's mostly just horse people and horse people that enjoy seeing horse things posted. And we actually, another thing, I guess we did forget something. The shirts and stuff, we just launched a store. That store, I'm selling everything at cost. So it's still, there's pricey stuff on there, but it's pricey because it's really good. And so everything's at cost. I'm not making money on it, but I want to see people get that stuff, and I want you to be able to use that stuff. So there's shirts on there. I'm working towards getting some saddle pads on there and horse blankets on there and more kind of fun stuff. But right now there's a variety of different clothing items and a backpack and some stuff just to kind of get started. So the other fun thing is anything that you post, if you purchase a shirt and you're wearing it and you tag us, that will automatically every month enter you to win another shirt or another item from the store. So all you have to do is buy one and just keep posting in it, and you're bound to win another one here shortly. So I wanted people to be aware that, like, we really are trying to give back and make this a community effort. And speaking of community, we have the affiliate program that I told you all about. affiliates, I'm really proud to be associated with them. So all of those affiliates, I take their logos, and okay, you can see it here. These are the list of affiliates that have signed up, and I try and promote them on social media, Instagram, things like that. But also made it so that if you purchase a Stable Pro shirt or item, you have the option of selecting to add on an affiliate logo. So if there's an affiliate here that you particularly feel strongly for and want to support, you can select that affiliate and add that to the shirt as well.
Very cool.
So a lot of fun stuff going on with Stable Pro that I'm just so excited about.
Yeah, this is a huge community. This
this
is
your merch
wonderful.
people?
Sorry, what was the last question?
Is this your merchandising people? This JRPR?
No, that's a marketing. They do social media marketing stuff.
Oh, nice.
And if I had
through.
budget to do stuff that I wasn't doing myself, I would start hiring people like them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, this looks fabulous.
Great affiliates here. And I'll pop that back off, put us all back on.
Yeah,
Very nice, very nice.
I'm so proud of that because it's so fun to like be able to order not only the stuff that you like, but have something on there that you support too. And things like some of the trainers, like Kirk Ferris, has been so supportive, and he was one of the first trainers on there. He's had to put up with every issue that we faced early on. He broke everything, and he was so patient. And so I wanted to make sure that he was featured right there at the top of the list as a big thank you to him, because so patient and so supportive of everything. And then associations like the Nevada Quarter Horse Association, Alberta Rein Cow Horse Association, and American Paint Horse Association all go out of their way. They don't receive anything except for the thank you payment when someone signs up as an affiliate. So they go that extra mile to really make this findable and share it to the public.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a great idea. We're trying to become affiliates with brands. It's a slow, difficult process.
Well, I made a pretty simple process for Stable Pro if you'd like to join as an affiliate.
Definitely. We definitely want to. I want to help with the lesson program because I need you.
Yeah. And that's like, I try to do everything. I design it so that it's so easy to accomplish that you could just click the affiliate link. It'll take you on there. You enter your information, it emails you your link, and that link, you can share it however you like, and you're done. That's it. That's the process. There's nothing hard about it.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything else we've forgotten? We've had you for over an hour, and we really appreciate you spending longer than the hour with us.
So I'll
Is there anything we've missed?
No.
I know I said sleep is overrated, but Mr. I work 18 hours a day and might want to get more than 4 hours of sleep.
I've been doing it for so long now that like my body is completely adapted to like 4.5 hours. It's just normal for me at this point.
I need
you sound like a horse trainer.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I force myself to keep that schedule. Is horse trainers are up early and doing things, so I want to be there and up early and working on this so that should something arise where they have a question, even if it's 4 a.m, they can reach out to me and I'll answer.
Megan's up early. She loves it when people text her at 2:00 in the morning.
I don't. I don't have any of those people anymore. Actually, I'm the one who's texting people at 5:45 now. I'm like, ooh.
Oh, sorry. We learned the hard way to put some restrictions on when our messages went out, because
Smart.
we didn't realize it at first, but when we created the thing and it would publish all these bills that the trainer can select when they want their invoices to automatically go out. So all the invoices would be tabulated and go out, and it would go out at midnight or it would go out at 6 in the morning. And everyone's like, what is happening in the middle of the night? Why did my phone just explode? Like, okay, we need to say maybe before 8 a.m. we put a hold on that.
That's
So
a great story. I love it. I mean, I shouldn't bring up like what other funny stories you have, but that is a part of owning a business, that you have growing pains, and you're like, oops, sorry.
yeah, we had to learn so much every step of the way. I mean, like I told you with Kirk, how he would break everything. We were struggling so much early on with some simple things that everyone else was getting, but Kirk was just baffled at how it was working. And a few months in, we realized he's trying to bill a month ahead of everything else, and it's sending it out a month behind. And we're completely disconnected. We're like, so we built in a feature where now you can select, if you're a trainer that bills the month prior, you select bill month prior. It does that automatically, and it's worked amazing ever since. He had to find other things to break.
Megan and I can find lots of ways to break things and come up with ideas.
Yeah.
Right, Megan?
Happy to help in any way. I can break anything.
Yeah, that's something I have to shout out to all the people who've been on there. Is I really, really appreciate how patient people have been. If there's something that goes wrong, people have been, for by and large, so extremely patient with letting me help them, letting me get things fixed. Because there's been a couple of times where like invoices went out just wrong, and I didn't expect it, but like you change something on the lesson program and all of a sudden invoicing is different, and that's the way technology works. But they've allowed us to fix those things and figure out how to make it better and better. And it's been amazing to get to work with the group of people that have been on there from day one, and just keeps growing.
I remember about a decade ago, my vet clinic came out with new software, and I found I had 500 invoices in my in-basket, and it was everybody's invoice came to me.
Oh no.
Everybody's invoice came to me, and they just kept coming and coming. I got on the phone. I'm like, I'm at 650, and they just keep coming. I'm like, I think every client of yours, all their invoices are coming to me. And I'm like, I only opened like 4, and I realized what was going on, and I'm not opening it. It's private. I shouldn't be getting it, and I promise you I'm deleting it, and can you please make it stop? And they were mortified, and I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
Technology is rough. And so, yeah, Megan and I think, have a pretty good back and forth we both have our strengths and our weaknesses, and I think we play well off each other. How is your web developer doing as far as, something breaks and, you're getting panicked text messages or emails or phone calls, and you're like, I need this fixed as soon as possible?
He's so good. He's so good. And so patient with me, because he can, if I'm in that boat where things are going wrong, I try not to let it show, but I can feel that stress. I don't want my family to feel it. I don't want my developer and my staff to feel it, but like, he can tell, and he really does prioritize getting those fixes out. Like, we'll be working on things 10, 11 o'clock at night, be up together at 4 in the morning, and he is really all in for it.
Well, I can't think of anything else. Miss Megan, what about you?
No, this has been great. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for your time and telling us all about Stable Pro.
Yeah, so you and everybody, you know how to reach me. All my information is right there on Stable Pro, www.stablepro.us. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I try to make it a point of getting back to people right away. So anyone can reach out to me. I'm happy to sit down on the phone and walk people through joining, help people figure out what's best for them. The equestrian side will be growing a lot here in the next month or so. So it'll be very exciting for the regular equestrian to join. The pro side is always going to be growing. And then the affiliate side, I'd love to sign up affiliates and just get the word out there, because I can't afford to sponsor everybody, but I can't afford to really give back and thank people.
Well, I think you're really going to help the horse industry. I can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Yeah, we appreciate your time. If we stick around, I got a question for you after the stream, but we're going to let everybody go because we've been on for 90 minutes, and we appreciate everybody sticking around and learning all this thing. So anything else, Megan, or should we sign off and say goodnight?
No, thank you, everybody. Yep. And trainers and vendors, make sure you check out Stable Pro.
Yeah, absolutely. Hit subscribe too, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. What the heck?
All right. Bye, everybody. Good night.
Bye, everyone.